Why, hello there, Dom. How you doing, sir?
Oh, hey Eric, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. How's life in the Western PA treating you?
It was I don't even know how the word I was just saying miraculous, but it was stupendous. Sunny,
Ooh,
warm, then the rain just came blowing through, but it was beautiful few days. Um, Great weather, almost like May.
yeah, kind
Low
of crazy. And then
70s, sunny.
today, did the cold come in there today?
It just came through right before dinner. The clouds got real dark and weather bug was off by about 15, 20 minutes because the storm came
Hmm.
in sooner rather than later.
Gotcha. Yeah, we had misty rain all day. Came home. There's a fire in the fireplace. Had the smell in the neighborhood.
Oh,
Just
nice.
just enough to get the nip out of the house. So, just the unique time of May in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, yeah, it was. We were outside, not quite picnicking, but just relaxing on the deck, enjoying the weather. Had the puppy out; she was running around, and neighbors were over, just kicking back, talking.
Yeah. No, very good. Yeah, so we're going to be chatting a little bit today about our board meeting. Just
Yes,
nothing too specific, but talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some of our new members to the board that have joined us tonight, and chat with them about their experiences as their first ever meeting, and and of course, as always, tech notes will be present for the evening.
yes. I actually have a question for tonight's tech notes because I've heard some things and I've been doing some research. I'm getting mixed signals, so I would like to get, as you always say, and I always believe that smartest person in the room is the room. Pose this question and see what kind of feedback we get from the team.
Hey, there you go. There's not a better group to ask those questions too. Well, hey man, I believe it's Tuesday.
It
You're
is.
here.
It's
I'm here. I think it's time for
PACT Pod.
let's roll it. Welcome to the PACT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PACT is 100% volunteer run organization that focuses on educational technology use in the classroom in Pennsylvania and beyond. My name is Eric Verno, the true honor to be the president of PACT, and with me tonight, as always, my co-host.
Dom Salvucci. I am honored to be the vice president of PAECT.
Yep. So yeah, definitely exciting times. And all of our changes in our names are sticking in StreamYard, so that's always solid.
Yes.
That's always good. And so we are on episode 48 and St. Patrick's Day edition. So I don't know, Dom. You don't have all your St. Patrick's Day gear on. What's going on? You all right?
I went summer. I've been doing tie dye the last couple days, so it's
Okay.
not real St. Patrick's Day because I'm out of that. Early spring, late winter holiday. I was full summer, shorts,
Uh,
tie dye, enjoying the sun.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I went with the my Italian, fake Irish shirt, and
Nice.
all ready for St. Patrick's Day and everything. So, yeah. Although our banner will have some good Irish tint to it, so always really good.
Yeah. Now I may
But
come
hey,
in, not to get ahead of ourselves too much, but the post St. Patrick's Day show, I may be in St. Patrick's Day garb because neighbors were saying they're calling possibility of snow that weekend. And I'm like, we
oh,
had a real big snowstorm in '93, I think, around St. Patrick's Day. And friends of
yep.
mine got stuck down in Pittsburgh. They got snowed in for the parade. There was like just a couple hundred people. We have one of the biggest in Pittsburgh, one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day parades in the nation.
Okay. Now, very cool. Yeah, I heard the 10th, the chances of some snow going through on the 10th, and maybe a little bit later than the following weekend. But and that's how March is in Pennsylvania. You
Yeah,
just never know, and some of our biggest snows have been in the month of March. So kind of crazy. I mean, we got
yeah,
got some dips in January. Usually predominantly in the past February has been where all the snow is, and then some late bursts in March. But we got some in January. We got February. So
was it
yeah, working its way.
2 years ago? We had a big snow the weekend of the PACT meeting. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I came in early and I had to put the booth in the back of my truck or take it out of the back of my truck. I had to chisel between the tailgate and the tonneau cover, it iced over. It was real bad. It was like 6 degrees outside.
Yeah, we're always flirting with that weather when it comes time for all the different things going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna have some guests on to talk about their experience. Some of our new board members, not all of our new board members, will have different ones on at different times, and kind of introduce them to the audience. Introduce them to, obviously their regions know them, but just kind of let people see who all is representing PAECT and again the tech notes. So you went the AI angle, I think, is the leak there, and I went the other thing about March that I love, March Madness.
Nice.
So I'm going to be talking a little bit how we pull it into our classrooms and do a pretty big math activity for that. So a lot of stuff to go over, a lot of things to do. But I think we need to kind of kick it off and get our guests on, and let's talk a little bit about some PAECT board members. What do you think?
I agree. And one thing though, because there were a bunch of new faces at the board meeting, but these were the regional directors who were in attendance. One is more familiar than the other because they've been on the pod previously more than the other one. But I'll let you guys decide, and I'm sure you'll realize that.
I think you're trying to say that the pod prefers one over the other. I think you're drawing lines here.
I'm not picking favorites.
Dom, I'm cutting you off to save us. Here we go. I don't want to get us in any more trouble than we are. Here we go. All right. Welcome to the podcast. We got
welcome,
Addie and Chrissy. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but we might want to check on Chrissy.
I'm out.
All right. Hey, it worked perfectly, Dom. Now we're down to 3. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All good. Okay. So, Addie, tell us about yourself, a little bit about your day job and your new position and how long you've been in it.
I am Addie Wallace. I teach middle and high school math in a really small district right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm also the math and business department chair. And about a month ago, took over for Dom as the Southwest Regional Director for PAECT.
All right. So you're catapulting off of what Dom had. Can only go up from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's it. All right, Chrissy. Okay, same question to you. Day job, board position. How long you been in it?
So, Chrissy Barnes, I am an explorations teacher for kindergarten through 5th grade. So a lot of project-based learning / STEM. The cat in the background who would really like to be involved in the pod if at any point you're looking for animals. And I taught 2nd grade before that. I'm also a second career teacher. So I've been doing this for about 8 years and loving it. Oh, awesome. And I'm Southeast region. Go Phillies.
There you go. Yeah. And Eagles,
Yeah.
Listen, last show I said I had the accelerator, hoping to get a little of the Kelsey deal because people jokingly say I have a little tiny look like Jason, and sad to see him go. So instead, I just went with the Aldi's version today since the accelerator deal didn't come through. So I'm still working on that one. We'll figure that out. All right, Dom, what questions do we have?
Okay, well, we're going to start off as we usually do. You got them to introduce themselves and what they teach, where they teach. PAECT is an all-volunteer organization. Everybody pretty much donates their time, so we have our real jobs. But what got you involved? What drew you into? We'll start with Addie. Alphabetical order, not preference. Stating that up front. What drew you in? What got you involved in PAECT?
So to make the long story as short as I can, I went to a Saturday professional development session where I learned about KTI, and then I applied to attend the KTI summit. And at KTI, I learned a lot more about PAECT because we're heavily involved with that as well. And then, after being a lead learner last year, I asked Dom how I could get more involved with things. I attended, I think, one regional board meeting, and then you called me a couple months later and said, I'm moving up to VP. Do you want to be regional director? So that is the short and tail of how I found PAECT, but getting the opportunity to work with all of you on a regular basis through different things. And then I did the Pumpkin PD a couple of months ago. So, I'm excited about the opportunity to keep working with the organization in this new role.
Yeah, you have been active in the region. you're relatively new. Because what year were you at KTI?
KTI was 22, and then I did lead learner last year.
Okay. Yeah. So out of the 2 years, you've been at regional events. You've been active on the board, regional board. So, and like you said, you ran the one that was your idea for or a group of you. You were the leader that reached out and said, "Hey, we'd like to do this, this activity. What do you think?"
Well, it started with people being unclear if I literally meant carving pumpkins or if I meant PD about pumpkins. So that just shows the beauty of collaborating with others and letting your ideas evolve.
The best part was you literally meant carving pumpkins.
I did, absolutely, yeah.
All right, keep rolling, Dom. I'm going to take care of the back end here for a little bit while
All
you're
right,
doing
sounds good.
Doing all that.
Chrissy, what got you involved in the AECT?
It's a pretty similar story. I'll give some shout outs though. In Abington School District, we had Brandon Lutz who joined our team for a short amount of time. So I believe he's past one of the past presidents of PAECT. So he was the one who just immediately let me know about KTI, told me that it was just a life-changing experience and how much I needed to be a part of it. So I got nominated. So again, very similar story to Addie's, where KTI was kind of the feeder for how I really just knew there's one day when you're there where you kind of get to learn a little bit more about PAECT and decide for yourself if that's something you're interested in. And I met in our region, it was Erica Stefanovich, if I'm saying her last name correctly, and then Corey Freed. And both of them were absolute rock stars about just sharing everything that was going on in the region. And I knew I wanted to be a part of it from there. So I, similar to Addie, started trying to help with some regional events, getting to know some people in the area, and then definitely also wrong place, wrong time, or right place, right time. I'm still trying to figure that out, but ended up, being at the right place at the right time when we were looking for a regional director to kind of take over for Corey after doing an amazing job.
Oh, so you've been around for a few years. I think I met you 2 summers ago at KTI, I believe.
Yes. So I was around same time as Addie. Addie and I are the same KTI year, and now we're moving into our PAECT roles at the same time as well.
That is cool. So,
and real quick, not to be outdone, Mike Hardisky, giving his thumbs up to you, KB. So just to throw that out there, another Philadelphia. Yep.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Dom.
So, I was going to go through because we're talking with the KTI. You guys have been involved with a bunch of different events. The pumpkin carving. Were you guys involved with Detect the Halls also, I believe? Or just participating?
I was participating. Absolutely. That was a lot of fun.
Sorry, I had myself muted for the cat, but yeah, I attended. I did not help to plan it.
So going forward, like this is your first meeting as a board member. What do you guys think?
Chrissy, I'll let you go first.
What's that?
I'm letting Chrissy go first.
Addie's throwing me there. I was just excited because it was my first time at State College in general. So just getting a chance to be up there, be in the area, definitely get ice cream from the creamery on the way home. And then my husband definitely touched the dry ice that was in the bag with his bare hands. So we have a whole kind of learning curve going on there with the ice cream at the creamery. But so just step one, the excitement and expectation of going up there, knowing that I'm in a room full of people who are just as passionate as I am about education, that we come from all over the state, was already just something that had a lot to live up to. Getting in the room was very similar to any type of back end. There were parts that I couldn't have imagined being the way they are, but just it is a lot of people working really hard to make sure that our whole state is up and running and the forefront of ed tech. And it's clearly like just I don't know. It's like you start half of a sentence and someone else fills in the sentence, and just everybody's on the same page and the same mindset, and we all have that same mission. So it was really cool to just kind of be in that room and be a part of those shared ideas.
Yeah, you kind of connect to, I like to call it the hive mind, and everybody's kind of in there and in the flow. And yeah, definitely very cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dom.
It's a good mix. We have some members that have been members for and on the board for over 20 years. You know, those of us in the middle, and then we have the new people on the board. Addie?
I mean, definitely, I agree with everything that Christy said. And then you kind of just bridged to what I was going to mention too, Dom, that it was really cool to hear about how the organization came to be with all of the name changes, and even have some people in the room who like can very specifically remember why a certain bylaw was written the way that it was and things like that. But I learned about so many things that we all have to do. I think sometimes it can look like, okay, we put on events, but there are so many more things going on in the background too that make everything that we do possible. So it was interesting to learn about all of those things, especially the things that I have to do that I didn't really know about yet. But that's still definitely part of the learning curve that goes with it. But like Chrissy said, just kind of being in that hive mind where people have a similar mindset. Watching our incredible recording secretary at work, so props to her, and just, you know, being able to discuss new ideas and our goals for the organization and have a clear outline of like, this is what we want to do and this is how we want to get there.
Yeah, and the regional directors, you guys, yeah, and both Eric and I were previously regional directors. That's the team that puts the plans in motion to the membership. You guys had your meeting earlier in the day. You know, any feedback from that? Because we're no longer in all the cool kid
Conversations,
chats.
I think I'm incredibly grateful for all of the people that we have helping us out. They've put together a lot of resources for us to be able to say, I have this question and the answer is there. I know there are just like some people I automatically ask a question to, and they've been more than willing to kind of take me on as an informal mentee-mentor relationship there. So just having those extra people there that, you know, they've been involved in my life in a lot of other ways too. So they always want you to help. They want to help you to succeed. And just watching that relationship and support carry over to this whole new role, so that we can all work for the greater good of the organization.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to feed on that and just kind of say that in every type of organization, you know, you look at that like kind of top down experience. So like, how does the top look? How does it, you know, like kind of peter out? And it's just that like, so the other regional directors made sure from everything with making sure that we had roommates that we could feed off of or ask questions to on the off hours, from just taking care of us in that way to making sure that every question we had was answered, to phone calls on the way home that lasted hours, making sure that everything was taken care of and that we were in a good space. And I think that knowing that our 6 in-state and 7th out-of-state regional directors care so much about each other and making sure that we're successful says a lot about how we're hoping to take care of our region. We want to be that person for our regions and be someone that you can have that phone call on the ride home or just reach out to or collaborate with. So it's definitely a great example of a top-down organization that is taking care of each other from every angle.
Yeah, there is a strong across the board with the executive board and the regional directors, and even with the committees, committee chairs and committees. There's a strong sense of teamwork, which is nice to have. That support group is there, which I believe, and I can't remember quite who it was, but I believe it was a couple wise men when talking with some of the new board members were like, don't worry, there's a strong team to support you. But I can't quite remember who was telling them that.
I think Verno told me that at some point.
Thanks.
Couldn't have been these two. Had to have been someone else.
this is not. These are not the wise men you think you see.
I heard it somewhere. I saw it on a TikTok. I saw it on a TikTok.
It was on a fortune cookie. Yeah, no, I think the exact phrase was, our KTI family is very strong, and this is like double or triple that on a whole other level. So,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely, there definitely is that. So I'm glad you guys definitely felt that, just even in your first instance of being at State College, didn't realize KB's never been there, so that's interesting. And then,
Yeah.
but yeah, just in general, just how what a cool thing it is. Like when I stepped on the property for Pete and C at Hershey, I just literally had that feeling of like I'm home. Like I knew the hallways. My body just turned right because it knew that's where I'm going to get to the fireplace. Like I'm doing my thing, and that's the same thing when we're at the Best Western. We're rolling into town, hitting the storage unit we have, and just doing the different things. Like it's just home because we've been there and we've done things there for so long. So glad you're stepping into that and having those really cool experiences because that's really what it's about.
Yeah, I'm looking through because I want to do. Eric wanted me to ask a question about, what are your plans in specifics for each of your regions, but I think that's a little too detailed right now. I was going back to some of the ones I sent you guys.
Okay, so on this day at this time, no, just kidding.
We used to have
Listen,
to do
Dom,
180.
you can no longer trick them out of their budget. So I know
I know.
that's the question you wanted to ask them.
No.
You are no longer allowed to do that. But that, as a regional director, that you did enjoy asking that question and getting it the answer on recording. So yes, it was always a good.
Addie still has those files in the
I do.
Southwest. She inherited them. They're hers now.
Oh man.
So, Christy,
Oh,
if you want to buy
got on
that
that right
T-shirt
there.
cannon, I have approval.
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
In general, I know you guys. You've been reaching out to people in your regions. I know Eric sent out, an email asking who would be interested. What are your guys' thoughts on things? What have you been? I know it's new into it, but what are your thoughts on everything?
I'm still definitely figuring things out from how it looks on the back end. And I know that I have a lot of people in the region who have reached out and they've just been like working with you and you're like, hey, this is Addie. And they're like, great. So here's my really cool idea. And I'm like, I'm very excited to work on some of those things. But for me, I'm kind of looking for some patience and grace on figuring out how they work. They are fantastic ideas. I have a lot of people that have events already. They want to get started on things. And then, trying to put a regional board together. So I have participants with ideas. And then there are a couple of things that I was kind of brainstorming while we were working over the weekend as well for things I would like to try out for events. But I'm really lucky that I have the directors that we talked about earlier that I can sit down and say, okay, I have 5 pages of questions. No, that's not an exaggeration. Can we go through those and, help get some things sorted out? So I'm excited to start working with people, but, figuring out both sides of everything.
Yeah, it'll come with time. I mean, it's a natural tendency to be when you first get in. The ideas are there. How do you put them in play? And I have no doubt you'll do well and get that moving forward.
Kind of feels like when a student asks a question in class and you're like, I don't know, but I can go get the answer somewhere. Just give me time.
Missy, you're up.
Yeah, I would agree. There's so many amazing ideas, and I'm lucky enough as well to have quite a few people who are eagerly texting and absolutely ready to go, and a few more that are like, I know you're going to make me do something, so let me know when you're making me do something. I'm excited that Karen Steigerwalt, the Northeast Regional Director, otherwise known as the nerd, is right above me in the region. So we're pretty close. So we'd noticed that a lot of the other regions kind of try to collaborate on some things. So we've talked about collaborating between the regions and trying to make sure that, we're getting as many participants and people involved as we can. I agree with Addie that after a in-person board meeting, as regional directors, we are referred to a lot as those boots on the ground. And that definitely is our main job, being the people who are the kind of first in line to recruit, also to maintain, to take care of, to encourage and inspire. So I'm excited to do a lot of that after sifting through a lot of other stuff. Also, I have really cool carabiners after this weekend. So anyone in the Southeast region who's looking for some awesome swag, you got to hit me up.
So, kind of going along with what Dom was saying, and a few years ago, we really worked on aligning and creating our regional boards to mirror our state board. And obviously, there was a lot of people around the table, so you're not going to have necessarily that at the regional level. But this is your time to make the pitch. Your regional board, what are you in need of? Addie, your turn to go first. She's on mute again. There you go.
Yeah, we have the cat in the background here as well. So you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't know what I need just yet. I emailed out to the previous regional board that Dom had been working with, and a lot of them are excited to continue working on the regional board. And then I have a couple more I still need to hear back from, and I was also going to reach out to the list that you got from asking who wants to help out, and then just see if there are other people, because I know sometimes there have been opportunities in my life with other groups I've worked with where maybe I didn't speak up for myself to say that I wanted to be involved, but when someone asked, I was like, you know what, that is something I'd be interested in. So kind of getting that combination of people who want to help us get our boots on the ground, like Chrissy said, but then maybe some new people that are interested in trying things out as well.
All right, Chrissy, to you.
Yeah, and same thing. I have a few board members for the Southeast region who are interested in continuing involvement. So I'm excited to see what position. Some of them asked for a little bit of a switch or, like different roles in the region. I'm lucky enough to kind of have a paper up here right now, but that says some of the roles that we have. So I'm sure they mirror a lot of what Addie will be looking for too. But my goal is to kind of just put out almost like we did for the board, the whole PAECT.
Call for participation. Yep.
Thank you. The call for participation, but almost on that smaller level. Here are the assistant director, secretary, media webmaster, like event coordinator. Here are all of those jobs I'm looking for and the descriptions. Is there something you think you would be interested in? And hopefully I'm going to get enough people that I want like one or two sentences about their ideas, almost in the same way we said, like, if you're going to be a regional director, what could you bring to the table? What are you interested in? What are you passionate about? And just kind of get to know some people as they're applying for different positions. So we're getting a little bit of training on the back end of Wild Apricot this weekend as the new regional directors. So hopefully Addie and I will both be putting out some things similar to that in the next few weeks.
And it's always interesting going into the system and sending things out. And we could probably spend the next 10 minutes talking about mistakes we've made or the fact that South Central, a.k.a. Verno at the time, made a template that made everything everybody send out have certain things on it that weren't meant to be on it. So, hey, it is a process. It is, definitely.
And
so we're getting some training this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
As far as tech tools go, once you get comfortable with it, it'll probably change at least a little bit, just enough to like, oh, man.
Yeah, and I know Dom's kind of showed me what some of it looks like, but then having some conversations with the regional directors and like the way things are set up and how to send to certain people, I'm like, it seems like it's easy to follow, but I feel like I'm going to do that thing where I'm like, this is going to hundreds of people. Am I sure this looks okay?
Oh yeah.
Well, you do have hundreds in the region, so that number's going up. As long as you don't send everybody all at the same time, you're good. You don't get hollered at.
Yeah, not a state blast.
Don't reply all.
Oh.
I'm assuming our membership chair, Kristen Landers, is going to be leading that.
She is not actually. She helped us for an hour while also multitasking in so many different ways. She is a rock star. So she helped us a little bit right before our first board meeting during the regional directions. But our nerd has graciously offered to do our first training session.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Very cool. All right. Good stuff. All right, Dom, let's go. We got some more questions here.
Oh, gee.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm not sure which way we're going to go with this. I'm going to throw one of our I don't know. It's like one of the questions.
Chrissy, prepare.
All the guests. What is your, let's say, PAECT educational KTI superpower? We're going to keep it in the realm of what do you have in that realm of education, technology, that's your superpower?
Chrissy, you can go first.
I thought we were doing this alphabetically, Addie.
I'm trying to give you opportunities.
I am happy to go first because definitely, for better or worse, my superpower in education is absolutely chaos coordinator. I am chaotic. My class is chaotic. We are loud. We are on the floor. We are a mess. I praise my students for giving that 5-minute time limit of a tornado at the end of class where it all just magically comes back together. But I love taking videos in the classroom of just students on the tables, under the tables. We're building absolutely everywhere, and it looks like it could never come back together again, and they do it. So I thrive in the chaos.
Nice. I like that. I can appreciate the chaos.
All right, Addie.
I don't know if I appreciate it. Oh. It's for better or worse. It's possible that I would like to be any other way, but but I do. I absolutely love it.
Now's your turn, Addie. Here we go.
If I could pick a random superpower, it'd be like Instagrating. That would be pretty amazing if you could just like scan the room and you immediately know if everyone's done their homework and which ones they missed. But I would say one that I kind of already have is helping others to come up with ideas, and that is definitely attributed to the amount of training I've been able to go to in professional development. So someone says, I'm teaching this and I'm just not very excited about the topic. And I'm like, well, hey, I actually have a resource that you can use that would make it really engaging for the students. Or what if you did this instead? I even attended my coworker's forensic science lesson this week where they were building houses and then they had to burn them from a certain point where the fire started, and they were analyzing burn patterns. So I think just being able to constantly be involved with what other people are doing, even if it's outside of your content area, so that you can share ideas with others. That's what I really love, is finding new ways to teach things and helping other people be excited about the ways that they teach.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I did pose a question out to social media because you've all been talking and sharing about, what got you involved. So we got a reply from Scott Snyder here. So after his KTI Summit of 2007 and PNC 2008, approached by Chris Champion and Sean McDonough about being parliamentarian. He's been involved in the board in some way ever since. So very cool.
Yeah.
So good stuff there. And like just as you ladies have stepped up and you're doing the different things. All right, what other questions we got, Dom?
All right, well, going through, we're down to the last superpower question. And that is, if you could pick any superpower, real, imagined, fictitious, out of comic books, movies, off the board entirely, what would it be?
I think I kind of already said mine. If it had to pertain to education, I would love to just be able to be like, "Floop, these kids have done their homework. These ones missed common questions," things like that.
It could be anything.
No. Anything. No, not educationally geared. What would you
Anything. Pick? Teleportation. That's a lot of time I'd like to save.
Oh, there you go. We did have a talk about Mike TV in our last pod, so just be careful with teleportation. All right. All right. KB?
So apparently as I get older, I'm getting to be more of a big comic book nerd. So I'll do both a little bit. So obviously like self-replication would be amazing for work and anything, just making a whole bunch of me and getting all the things done. But if you're interested in comic books or interested in super heroes and superpowers, Astro City is an awesome old school kind of late 80s getting started comic series that spanned for a really long time, and I crack up hearing all of the different superheroes. Like, it's just the most obscure bad guys and like powers you could ever have. So the one is Jack in the Box, and he just like bounces around and semi looks like a clown, and it's very Jack in the Box inspired. So if I had to pick an absolutely ridiculous one, I would go old school like Jack in the Box, just being able to leap tall buildings with this crazy clown-like attire. Gotta go random.
And that Jack in the Box brought to you by our sponsors.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Available in red, yellow, green, and blue.
Yes, exactly.
That's right. Sold in a store near you. Oh, we got a little Brendan Powell loving the podcast. All right, you ladies are doing a great job.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Nod.
Southeast region, Brendan.
I tell you. I'm just impressed that somebody can multitask and be on social media and the pod. Not going to mention any names, KB. So anyway, all right, a lot of awesome stuff.
They're working that bling for the Southeast.
That's
They
it.
want the
They're trying to-
tchotchkes.
Absolutely.
They want their numbers, yeah. So and in closing, the number one pitfall that hopefully you were warned about that neither of you fell into, that I don't think JG could have said the same, was using the word tchotchke while we're in a meeting, because our awesome recording secretary, who definitely enjoyed taking shots at me as I was going too fast or doing different things, or clicking a button and wiping out a whole page of the strategic plan that's now been I fixed it now, but during the little time during the meeting. But she can't spell that word, and she doesn't want to learn how to. So that is the origin of why it is the name that shall not be named
Yes.
during a board meeting. So Dom and I would like to keep our lives intact, and all board members should fall in line with that mindset and not say the word.
And I'm the person that, like, if you tell me not to touch something, I just want to touch it. So, like, it literally was on my mind the whole time. Like, I just want to be like, tchotchke.
Oh,
I'm the opposite. I was like, they told me not to say it. I don't even want to think the word.
I think
Per
the
reach.
phrase would be, there is nothing like a recording secretary scorned. I'm just going to throw that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
Reach
trying
more
to
than
pamper
you
her.
think, and it
I
rains
tried
more
to
than you
take care of her every need.
You were way too close to be making enemies like that.
Yes, exactly. That is
Now,
true.
what you can do, if any of the regional directors for some reason are not there, you could just say, I got, something in the Slack from, throw a name out there like JG, and he made a motion for tchotchkes or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
No, that has to be Addie. She sits further away from Linda and is slightly more physically safe. than I
Hey,
am.
I'm here to support Linda.
For the record,
he-
there is no safe seat if you choose to cross that line. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest. Ladies and gentlemen listening to the pod, you are hearing it now, and then that way, if anything happens, you know what Verno has said, and I stand by.
Her
I will not
superpower
cross
is
that
wielding
line.
grapes.
That is a
Yeah.
Rubicon not to be crossed, ladies.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Very good to know.
We don't mess with that. All right. Well, truly, not only do we appreciate you saying yes and stepping up to be a part of the board, because it is an endeavor, as you got to
Yes.
see, kind of seeing behind the scenes, looking at just even, I'm sure, just going through your Google Drive, but then seeing all the different documents. And again, listening to that history, it's just amazing to hear where we've been. And we really didn't even get into specifics about when ISTE and PACT cross lines, because even that's a huge endeavor in and of itself. But so with that being said, thank you so much. It's a time commitment throughout the week, throughout the months, on those weekends. Huge. Thank your families. Thank your cats, obviously, that they're saying, letting you leave the home as well. But truly appreciate everything you are and what you bring to the program, because, PACT is amazing because we have amazing members, and our amazing members do step up and say yes to be amazing regional directors. So truly appreciate that. And thank you for all you've done, and just speaking in the future for all you're going to do.
Yeah.
And yes, to the cat as well. Yes. Very
Yes.
nice.
Addie, for future reference, pets are allowed on. Chrissy, same with you. Pets are allowed on. Last week, Charlie was on. She had more than just
here
a
it goes.
cameo.
He opened it. There it is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh,
Is
and
that
there-
how you spell?
the
That's
gentleman
how
in
you
purple?
spell tchotchke?
I will not
Oh,
remember
wow.
that. I was today years old when I saw that spelled.
I don't even want to know. I don't
Understand
even want
Linda's hatred now. I'm in.
to know.
I always spelled it like Chachi from Joni and Joni Loves Chachi, but
There would have
And
been a
it's
CH at the beginning of that, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, well, truly appreciate you spending your 40 minutes here on your
Yeah.
Tuesday evening with us, and have a great rest of your week. And enjoy, as we're our next pod will be post St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy your St. Patrick's festivities with your families, and truly appreciate you. So thank you so much for being on.
take care, guys.
And-
Thank you.
Thank you both for having us. We're really excited to meet all of our members and just really get involved. And having this platform to be able to introduce ourselves is amazing. So the pod is awesome. Thanks for having us.
One more important thing. Did you or did you not receive Reese's Pieces at the board meeting for the green room?
I definitely didn't. There's no way I had Reese's
That's right.
Pieces.
I didn't. Addie got them. I forgot.
I did. Yeah.
There's no photographic evidence of me holding Reese's Pieces at all anywhere.
All right,
That's
so
right,
she
we were-
lied. So you did deliver them, Dom. Is that what I'm hearing?
I did deliver them.
Okay.
And you're gonna love this because they're in my iPhone format. I can't just upload them directly in.
No, without proof? Nope, I did not get it.
Yeah, you should have, when you're using that Tonka truck version of a phone, causes some problems, Dom.
Hey.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much. We got to kick off with some PACT preview and some tech notes. So you have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
There it is.
And there's the proof.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Thank
See ya.
See you later. Thank you.
Oh, I tell you, you and your antics, buddy. Always about it.
I went through everybody who could possibly be on the show, and we took green room pictures of the Reese's Pieces because I've been getting beat up too long, and you had a point. It's been too long for me, not having the Reese's Pieces out there. So I figure everyone's together.
Well, I mean, the downside, though, is, listen, I can't let you fully off the hook. They're not enjoying them right now. I mean, that was like days ago. I'm just throwing it out there. Like right now, they're just sitting there like, wish I had some Reese's. Great. I had a picture like, 48 hours ago.
I lost
but,
the Ziploc baggies I brought up.
we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Because like, I know you were nervous as running your first meeting and taking from the side seat to the head table for my first meeting. I went through, made sure I had everything packed, and then made sure I had my, these are my reading glasses here, but I have a nice pair that I travel with. And I went through my bag about 5 times and I could not find them. So after the meeting was over, they were in the pocket I've checked 5 times. Yeah. So nerves were a little rattled. That was,
Oh, yeah.
Big difference.
It is. Yep, totally. And then especially when you're sharing the screen and you're running with Zoom and all that jazz and talking to the people there. And again, when that button was hit and that page disappeared, that small little voice in the back of my head saying, don't forget to breathe. Just be calm. Breathe. Don't pass out. Yeah, you definitely, it definitely happens. So,
yeah, and I was trying without being too loud, like it's still on my screen. Where do you want to go with it? I think I still have it. And I didn't know why it disappeared on one but not the other. But it's like everyone's looking like, what'd you do?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. All good. All good. Like I said, the funniest line was when I said, kids, this is why we can't have anything nice. That got a few chuckles, and then we rolled from there. So, all right. Well, listen, it's time to kick off. Let's brag about what PACT has going on this month. So, utilizing our Bitly, you want to put that on the screen real quick?
Yeah, let me pull.
We've got our glide show that the regional directors work on putting together, taking the information from our calendar, putting it on our glide show, and lovely, beautiful green for the month of March. We got March events. We got March 14th, 6 p.m. We got free food, our free event with food provided in person at Penn State Du Bois, hosted by the Northwest. We've got our March 20th event going on. Here we go. Put that on the screen there. We got our March 20th, the Heart of Teaching at St. Vincent's College, hosted by the Southwest in conjunction with the WPCTE. Anything to share about that, Dom?
That is actually their conference. They were kind enough to let us have a table there. We have a lot of members from PACT who present at that conference and attend that conference. We are hosting the after conference meetup at, I believe it's Sharky's out there in Latrobe. I know Aaron Sams, he is a member. He works with pre-student teachers and student teachers out there. He's going to have his university students at the conference. This will be my 3rd one that I'm attending. If you're out there, you're a PACT member, stop by. We will have a table at the conference. If you're not at the conference, stop by the after conference, see what was going on. We'll be sharing ideas. And as Chrissy said, we do have some tchotchkes to hand out to members. So stop by, say hi, find out what's going on.
Yep. Fortunately, no notes are being taken during the pod. All right. So March 26th, South Central is hosting Bricks and Brews at the South County Brewing Company. This will be the first time PACT is going to be at the South County Brewing Company. So I'm definitely excited for what they have in store for that. All right. Let's take a look at the calendar. Again, our continued partnership with Teachers First. We have plenty of things going on. Our Tech Made Easy with let's click on in here. All right, our Tech Made Easy with TWE. All right, TWE AI-powered EdTech tool. All right, so that's going on here with our Teachers First. We got Tech Tool Smackdown, more AI tools. All right, and then we have also so there's your pre and post going on there, our Brews and Bricks. So a lot of great stuff. Oh, and Ed Camp Happy Valley is happening March 16th. So a lot of great stuff happening at PACT. Remember to check out bit.ly/PACT events. That's lowercase bit.ly/ all caps PACTE lowercase VENTS. So be sure to check that out, or you can go to pact.org/calendar to check out what's going on in your region, in your area.
Yeah, now there's something that was missed, but there is a Fred camp going on 2024, and that is in Cranberry Township, not Cranberry up northwest, but Cranberry and Butler County at Erman Crest Elementary School. That is March 23rd. And PACT will have a table at that event, and actually we have PACT members that are helping organize that event. So that is not on the calendar, but we will get it either on the calendar or get the link out to you guys. That's a great event. It was the one last year.
I will say that this did go out in a statewide blast.
Yes.
So if you don't remember seeing anything or hearing about it, please check your email for our Education Technology Today email that goes out every Wednesday of the week. And we co-partner that with NiceGate. But be sure to check that out because I do know there was information and links in that email this past Wednesday. So definitely check that out. So good catch there, Dom.
You're welcome. I'm going to be at that event, so very nice. I'm looking forward to it. It is a great event. Definitely a good time.
Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, we're ready for Tech Notes. And last time I went first, I think I'm going to give the nod to my VP. So let's go ahead and queue up the Tech Notes. Are you ready, sir?
I will be ready in a second.
All right. Well, you got 6. Here we go.
All right.
All right, sir. What do we got?
Okay. Well, this is the question that I want to ask. Got to go back here and hit the button because I have a couple different things going on. So, do AI checkers catch Grammarly as AI? I ran a little scenario in my classroom a few weeks back. My honors kids, I gave them a web quest to do. And we have Bloxy, which allows me to monitor their Chromebooks and things like that. And I was walking around working with the kids. They were working on this web quest that started out with some basic knowledge questions and worked up to higher level questions. As they were walking through, as I was walking around the room helping them with their projects or their questions, the web quests, just keeping notes, and they had to put down the URL from where they got the information. If they got it from their notes, if they knew it, they would just write, I knew this already, or it was from class notes. But then when they had to look up information, they had to put the URLs down. And for fun and games, I took their answers and I ran it through a couple AI checkers, Zero GPT, GPT-0, Bloxy has an AI checker, and there were a bunch of other ones on the internet that you could use that are free. And what I did was I ran through the checkers, and it came back as AI. And I'm like, wait a second. Like I worked with the kids, and I'm like, none of them had any AI sites. And I went through everything with them. So I was like, okay, I talked to our tech department. They pulled up the URLs the kids used, and none of them were on a site that uses AI. There was no chat or chat GPT or anything like that. So I'd send a message out to them like, hey, I ran this through a checker. I'm not accusing you of anything. You're not in trouble, but I was checking stuff for myself. And I explained to them, we had a couple different options. One, you used AI to write your answers, which they didn't. The site that they were using could have used AI to help write the information.
Yep.
I said, and I told them, I don't believe this, but there was another teacher in the building. You guys could be cyborgs here to take over the world. And, you're built with AI, which was a logical conclusion. But I ran that experiment and I'm like, okay, so the tools we use to check to see what the students are doing aren't very reliable. And I explained that to the kids. I said, that's something, technology is fallible. You can't rely on it 100%. You Google search, you're not sure if you're getting the right information. AI, checking for AI, they make mistakes. So a friend of mine, a colleague of mine at work said they come across a blog post where a student allegedly grad student used nothing but Grammarly to spell check. And I use Grammarly, does the spell check, does the punctuation, the free version, and it got flagged for being AI. And they were fighting with the university. It's like, this shouldn't be a 0. It's kind of like using Google Docs where it checks everything.
Yep.
And that's my question. Do AI checkers catch Grammarly as AI? And I went online, I've been doing research, and I've seen some of the AI companies say, no, it doesn't come across, it's not AI. And I've caught some other threads where people are saying they've gotten tagged as using it as AI, but they're not using the AI version. It's just spell checking. And if you think about it, when we type emails, I explain this to the kids. When you type emails, you'll get that continuation of, is this what you want to type next? Google Docs, the same thing, and it goes through and spell checks and does different things for you. So it's something we have to think about as educators, because we're checking for kids. A lot of us are going back to school. Some people are putting, job searches. I'm not one of them, but people are putting out for jobs, and employers are looking at this.
Sure.
And that could disqualify you. So it's something that we have to address. And I'm just very curious as to, I'm getting mixed signals. What is, does anybody have any more definitive of an answer for this?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I even think about before internet connection, it was really big when, so say for Word, Microsoft Word, when they got the ability to do grammar checking and you got the red squiggle meant this, the green squiggle meant this underneath your words, it wasn't AI, but it was able to read in the context. It was pulling that in. So maybe a little bit in the back end, you can kind of think maybe something, but it was programmed learning, not AI learning. So would that have been flagged? Will that be flagged? That's a great question. And it's interesting. So it makes me think, is there some trace element that the Grammarly or that one of the other programs is doing on purpose to kind of leaving fingerprints, you know? What are those what are they catching on? Yeah.
Yeah. And I brought up to the students, I said, if that website is using AI to mass produce some basic information, when you're pulling from that, if you're not changing it enough, so, or you can be as smart as AI. You're smarter. But we did a little example. I had the students do a Civil Rights Black History Month project, make a video in Canva, and we did the Google. I think I talked about this before. The Google Advanced Image Search, the MLA format. Use Canva to make a video, and they recorded their voice. Or I did get a couple AI text to voice for kids that were shy, and they could create sound files to upload into Canva. Then when we were done with that, I had my honors class use the AI in Canva, which doesn't work for an educational account, but works under a regular account, and make a presentation on their topic. And then they were to evaluate, okay, here's what I did. Here's what I did with AI. And I've been open with them whenever I've used it for the basis of presentations. Here's what I did. I used CuraPod for a PA event, PA history. but the information wasn't current. Like, it didn't go up to the current senators, the current governors. These things make mistakes. You have to go back, and it's only pulling based on how well you write your question and the information that it's accessing.
Right.
So it's, like I said, it's not infallible. So the kids, like, it was kind of eye opening. I think they're working on a reflection piece on that. Some of the initial response was, this wasn't very good. Like, if I turned this in as my project, I wouldn't get a good grade on it. And like, it's not nearly as good as what I could do. So it was trying to show them, like, you can't rely on it, because you're going to have kids that are going to try. But I think it's good to get out in front of it and, model it.
Yeah.
But that's my big question.
Interesting. And I think we're going to have more of it. Schools are looking into their, what are we going to do as far as how we're going to treat it, how we're going to work with it. Are we going to embrace it? Are we going to try to block it out? Like, there's a lot of stuff that we're working through. So good. That's a good tech note, man. Definitely a philosophical tech note. All right.
Good
Good
so
stuff.
what do you got going on?
All right, we'll transition. Here we go. All right, so my tech note, just kind of looking at, we got March Madness going on, right? So what we do is, all right, let me share my screen here, just a little PowerPoint that we use with the kids. So we do our own version. So the team I teach on is called Team Initiative. And so we do a version of March Madness with the kids. So we utilize a program called Freckle. You could kind of utilize any program across your team. And the kids, as they play this game, they get coins. The coins they can use to, buy clothing for their avatar, their animal. They do different things with. But it keeps an overall coin score. So they've been on this program since 4th grade coming into our building. And their programs get passed down. I have 4 new kids. They just started this year. And so what we do is we take those students that have been there, and, different teachers at different times get in, and I will take all of my classes and I'll download a Excel spreadsheet, and I'll get my other math teacher, and I have a learning support teacher who does math, and we will pull all of the kids, I'll pull them in and I'll sort them. So we basically come up with our seating. And then we have a website. We use a lot of different websites. You can just do a search out there for websites. And what we do is we create brackets. So how we do it is we have a 4-person team, and we have a learning support, and we have a para that works with that. And to kind of make it fun, we name our brackets after our alma maters where we went to high school. All right, we've talked about doing college or this or that, but we kind of settled on our high school alma maters. So when we look at this, I'm just trying to switch up the, get that off the screen there. All right, so like for instance, our Forge regional brackets. So I went to Saucon Valley, in the Lehigh Valley area. We got Cedar Crest to Dallastown bracket. We got a York suburban bracket, and Miller Place up in, I believe that's up in Long Island, and then St. George's bracket. And so the 4 teachers, and we combine like the para and our learning support teacher, we've got our 4 brackets set up. We go into this program, and it will take the kids that are listed from 1 to 100 or however many students we have, and it will automatically place the seeds of taking your top and then splicing it so your 1 is here, your 2 is in a different bracket. It does it all for you in the back end, and we set up the seeds. And then what we do from there is to work with the kids, we talk to them, we say, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody the same assignment. Now, the way the engine works on the app is it is adapted. So even though it's supposed to be about, say, reciprocals, Dom's going to get different questions than I am, but we're both going to get 10 questions. And then the kids will have an evening to do that for homework. And then the next day, the teachers and I get together before school, and we'll just go through and we'll read the bracket. All right, Dom versus Eric. All right, Dom got a 44 out of 10. Eric forgot to do it. He gets a 0. Dom advances. And in the program, we'll put 40, we put 0. But when it gives you that next level, there's no scores given, and we screen clip it, we print it, and again, I put every bracket column, all the different things in a PowerPoint. I'll print it, and I post it on one of the doors. And the kids come running down the hallway to see who advanced, who didn't advance, where it's going. Now, a couple things that we do to kind of keep the excitement, because I tell the kids, like, if you're Duke basketball and you get knocked out in seed 1, you got nothing else, round 1, you get nothing else to do. You're watching the games at home. And to incentivize them, we do a pizza party. We talk to them about you need to do X amount of correct questions a week, whether you're in a competition or not. And if you keep up with this number, you are still in the running to be invited to the pizza party.
Nice.
So we get kids that are knocked out in the first round, kids that are knocked out in the second round, and they're still there. We'll call it the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4, all the way down the line, but they're still in it. And then what we'll do is if any local store is able, willing to donate, or we'll just put some money in and buy like a gift card. Usually it's like $5 Below, $1 General, get them $10 gift cards.
Yeah.
And our first and second place winners get a gift card. And then we do a pizza party. We have the kids, they chip in $1 and teachers pay the rest. And one of the local places will have them deliver the pizza. And, the kids will get like a little bit of a vote as far as what do we want, cheese, pep, sausage, whatever the case may be. We won't get into the discussion of whether you believe pineapple belongs on a pizza or not, but but we have that, and we'll get some sodas, and we tell them behind our main cafeteria there is the main faculty room that these kids don't know is there. They're in 6th grade, they didn't know this was there, and we tell them, like, not only is it going to be a pizza party, you're going to be in the main faculty room, and not a lot of teachers actually use it, so they get so excited and fired up that they get to do that, and so it's just a cool time. So all during the month of March, we had this activity going. So it'll be kicking off here in a week or so. I time it up that, we'll show the seating of all the kids right around the time when, I guess we got a little note here that I didn't see earlier.
Just came in now.
All right. So, but I have a little bit of, we'll go through when that happens. I'll pull the numbers. So when the seedings come out for the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament, I will have the kids come in the room and we will unveil the brackets. We will give them all the information. And then, like I said, have them getting on, making sure everybody's good. And of course, you just got to be, if parents email, there's different things happen, power went out, this or that, you work around all of that. But it's just a neat little activity. It takes a little bit of extra work, but the kids are still doing work. They're prepping for all the testing and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Getting the questions. We're going back and, we don't give them questions that are on new materials. We try to go back and do review materials. And again, we're very strategic with what we're asking them to kind of work on in the program. And the program does a great job just in the back end. You can pull it up and look at the scores and see who does what. And, it's never been in the years. This is year number 5. Last year we didn't do it because I was out with my hip replacement, but we've done it. So we've had 4 actual runs of it. This is the 5th year doing it. And it's always shocking that the kid that everybody thinks is going to be the winner isn't always the winner. Sometimes they're in that top group because, again, forgetting to do an assignment happens to all of us, So
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you just never know, So
Yeah.
it's nice that kid, they feel like they want to count themselves out, but there's no reason to.
Is that program expensive? Because that sounds like a fantastic program to use.
So honestly, for what we use it for, you could use the free version for. The thing about the free version is I can't go back and look at last month's deal, but if you're checking it every day and you're pulling the numbers, you can do that. So you'd be able to do something like that. But really, pick any program you're using in school. If there's anything that you're given, we use Prodigy Games, a free math game kids are really into. Again, you could do the same thing, giving them the kids questions and kind of just figuring out how to seed them. That's the part you just got to be creative with. But I just love tying it in and just love the excitement. And, hey, I enjoy having some pizza with the kids, in that late March, early April time frame. So that's always a good time.
Yeah. You kind of when the kids get knocked out, kind of tell them, you have the NIT tournament. It's the other tournament going on, and play through.
Yep. And we'll still go through and, let them know if they could come up. Am I still in it? Yeah, we'll let them know. And if they are, if they aren't, or sometimes the kids will be like, Thursday, they'll come to you like, how are my minutes looking? Or how are my questions looking? Like, all right, man, you got 5 more you got to get done tonight to make sure you're still in it. So all that goes. And like I said, it's not, it just goes along with everything we've been doing. But now there's just that little element of competition and that ability to get invited to the party at the end.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, that's always a good time. I'm always excited to roll that out. And every so often, we'll see. I guess we have some new principals in the building. The one year we had 2 of our principals come in and we took a picture of getting ready to toss the ball up, and then we jumped it up and see who got to go first, just to get the kids all fired up and excited.
Yeah.
Just, get a little extra action going on in there. So that is the plan to kick off here in a week or so. I got to just double check and see when the official seeding does occur with March Madness, because we try to time it up with that same mindset. So it's a good time had by all.
Good. Hey, I'm going to do a quick revisit. We had a comment that Eric mentioned, Ryan Smith. Talking when we asked, how'd you get involved with PAECT? His friends, Kelsey Wilcox Boyles and Kristen Landers.
I put it up on the screen, but I forgot I asked that question earlier. Yeah, go ahead.
2 board members. Kelsey, she is a liaison for the IUs. Can't say that word right.
PAMES.
PAMES.
PAMES liaison. Yep.
And then you have Kristen, who is our membership chair.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, listen, we got our March Madness. We got our March Math Madness. We got our AI conversation going. We've had great interviews.
Yes.
This has been a phenomenal pod, kicking off March, and looking forward to hearing some really good St. Patrick's Day stories and what people are doing in the classroom. Email us, pod@pact.org.
Yeah.
Let us know what you're doing to kind of, celebrate March.
And if you have any feedback on the philosophical question I posed, please share, because there's a number of us out there, a lot of people out there. That's something we're thinking about. And I know, talking with Aaron Sams at Pete, he was, mentioned, are you checking the output, the project, or are you looking for the process? What are you assessing? And, that's going to change how we think, but still good to know, how reliable are the tools we're using in the classroom? So something to think about. We appreciate feedback on that.
All right. Well, everyone, I appreciate all of those people who are watching live, and I appreciate all those who are watching in the future. And thank you so much for supporting the PACT pod. Remember,
PACT.
We are
the voice of EdTech in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right. Oh, real quick before we kick it to pay for show our sponsors, Patty stresses always the process. All right. Thank you so much. Let's give a nod to our sponsors.
PAECT would like to thank all of our sponsors. Venture sponsor, EduSpire. Corporate council members, ClassLink, GoGuardian, ClearTouch, and our gold sponsors, Sam Labs, Howard Technology Solutions, and Teachers First. We at PAECT truly appreciate all of your support. Once again, thank you.